Hello, Satnam, it's me, Shakti Sundari, and I'm back with you again today with a little bit more from Daniel Odier's amazing book, Desire, the Tantric Path to Awakening, and my own commentary on it. I had some feedback from somebody yesterday saying thank you for these videos and how inspiring and illuminating she's finding them. So thank you. It's really wonderful for me to receive that feedback and to know that my sharing, which just comes from the heart and from my passion, is being received somewhere out there. It's great. It's wonderful. Thank you. So, I can see some people are there. Hang on, I've got to put my glasses on. Hi, hello. My hair's doing something funny. I washed it this morning. So, I'm a bit nervous this morning because, well, actually it's this afternoon. The bit that I'm going to read today, and by the way, today's little sharing is entitled Our Body, Our Shadow, Gateways to Bliss. I think that's what I called it anyway. And what I'm going to attempt to summarize here is really, in a way, quite complex stuff. But I'm going to do my best because, you know, the best way to learn is to teach, to see if I can really articulate this as a truth from within my own being, and then I'll know I really understand it, right? Then I know I'm really embodying it. So in my video yesterday, I talked about how really there is no good or bad. There is no higher or lower. There is simply consciousness or not consciousness, presence or not presence. And when we're fully present with our awareness to life, that is it. That is the divine. That is transcendence. That is bliss. That is ecstasy. That is oneness. That is unity. It's simply the meeting of life with our full presence that achieves that divine union that we're all seeking and that we're all feeling this yearning for within our hearts. And so I ended the video yesterday by saying, and that brings us back around to the body, because the way to that is and can only be through the body, because we're incarnated in these physical vessels, right? in these beautiful bodies are our incarnation, and this is the only way that we can really achieve that. Not that we're striving to achieve anything. And so that's why we come back to desire. That's why we come back to passion. That's why we come back to all of the senses. It's by fully immersing ourselves with our awareness in every one of our senses that we then encounter the aliveness and the consciousness of life. You know, we can go through life with very deadened senses, and then we will never touch and we will never experience that divinity, which is always there and always present within our own beings. So as Daniel Odier says, we don't need an intercessor, we don't need a priest, we don't need a priestess, really, even though I am a priestess, to do this intercession for us. We only need to tune in to the senses and our sensory experience of life fully and completely. What he then also goes on to say is that then when we are doing that, what will soon show itself is our shadow, because then we will be made aware of that which we have rejected within ourselves, that which we have refused to face within ourselves, which we call the shadow, which I always, when I first heard that word, it really made me feel afraid and think in terms of like Christian conditioning about being wrong and something wrong with me. It's simply the parts of ourselves that we're not aware of at the moment. That's all. We call it the shadow because we can't see it so clearly. There's bits of ourselves that we see very clearly, you know, because they're right here in front of us and we accept them, and usually they're the bits that we determine to be good. Like, you know, I love my good bits, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, it's great. But the bits that we have been conditioned to believe are not good, we hide away or we project onto others. But what this path also is about bringing those little bits of ourselves, or sometimes very big bits of ourselves that we've been hiding away out of fear, out of shame, out of conditioning, back into the light and back into the heart, so that we really are integrated, we really are one, and we can't avoid that. That is an unavoidable aspect to this tantric path. But you know, the rewards and the gifts are in then the you know, it's an ongoing process. For me anyway, I'm not self-realized, I'm not a master, I'm not, you know, I'm just on the path. But my own experience is that the more I delve into this and the more I journey with this, certainly the more whole I feel, certainly the more alive I feel, because there's less energy going into cutting off and deadening off and hiding the bits that I've been, keeping away from myself or others out of all that old conditioning. So let's see what Daniel Odier has to say. He says it much better than me. much better than me. But all my glasses have gone all steamed up from being on my head. Hang on. Yeah, bear with me. Right. Oh, it's David. Hi. So yeah. There is neither transcendence nor purification. So I mentioned this yesterday. There is only life lived with consciousness or life lived with automatism and non-presence. In order to arrive at this profound consciousness, it is indispensable that our instrument, the body, be perfectly in tune. And this is where the whole issue of our sensuality comes in. Hi. So, in tune. So it's not just that we are embodied and that we are aware of our body. It says in tune. So that's something quite different. In tune, everything is vibration, everything is alive. In tune suggests to me that we are vibrating in alignment with our divine self, and in tune, in alignment, vibrating in alignment with truth, and vibrating in alignment with love. What would be the worth of a body whose marvelous functions were not operating? How would consciousness spherically unfold itself within a frozen form, not tending towards natural fluidity? So frozen form, that's when we become rigid, not just physically, although because I study people's bodies, I see it very much in people's bodies, this rigidity that sets itself in, or this armoring that sets itself in. And when we are fully in contact with life, there's a fluidity to the body, there's a fluidity to our being. We're able to go with literally the flow of life rather than adhering rigidly to structures and forms which are the past. Okay, so life is always new in every moment, and when we're living in the present, we are able to go with that rather than clinging on to past forms. The first step is therefore to restore these functions, the functions of the senses of the body, right? To regain literally our taste for life, our capacity to perceive the world. So hearing, smelling, seeing, tasting, touching, all of that with the continual wonder of a child. Thank you, David. It will easily be understood that this can happen only within a larger, all-encompassing acceptance of what we really are. What we really are. Such a task becomes impossible if we imagine ourselves otherwise. If we idealize ourselves, I've done that, I still do it now. If we imagine ourselves otherwise, if we erase a part of our personality whenever we discover within ourselves territories unworthy of the path. So, oh my God, that is such an ingrained conditioning for me, for everyone I think I've ever met in life, this sense of being unworthy, this old Christian or Judeo-Christian belief of sin, fuck that. What a load of fucking bollocks that really is, to indoctrinate the belief into children that they are sinful. My goodness me. So much harm done by that. So much harm. If we really encouraged our children to acknowledge their shadow, simply the unseen parts in themselves from early on, there would be no shame around it. I've done that with my children myself, and so far it's worked pretty well because they don't have any fear in sort of looking at themselves and acknowledging, oh yes, I did do that and I wasn't aware at the time. No big deal. It's just a recognition, right? And that's how it could be for all of us, rather than hiding away because we're so scared to be seen and thinking there's something bad or wrong or broken about us. That's just such bollocks. We're all perfect, we're all divine, we're all doing our best. But that very powerful conditioning out there does push us to, as it says, erase parts of our personality and feel that we need to hide them, because we all want to be loved. And perhaps when we were young, we weren't given the love that we all deserve and that we all are, and we thought we had to be or do a certain way to be loved. But no, we are already loved and we are already perfect. And it's kind of ironic, it can take a lifetime to remember that and discover that all over again. This self-acceptance, says Daniel Odier, is a very delicate process because it implies deep contact with our shadow side. Yes, I know that. All our opacity, so that which we cannot see or hide, and all the secret sources buried in the deepest part of us. That's what it requires. You know, it does require that look inside. Nothing's out there, it's all in here, and we have to have the courage and the strength and the heart for that. It takes courage, it takes strength. And yet, entering wholly onto this path is the only way to avoid later crashing into what we would have chopped off of ourselves. Off with his head. Which would have grown considerably in the darkness. Don't I know that? Whatever we hide and deny, the longer we hide and deny it, the bigger it grows. Then we meet it in someone else. Oh, we've projected it onto someone else outside us, and then we blame them and have a go at them for being whatever it is we can't accept in our own selves. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what I've experienced anyhow. Everything that we abandon in the full stream of conforming to a system is precisely what will subsequently come along and block our path. That's pretty powerful. Everything we abandon in the full stream of conforming to a system is precisely what will subsequently come along and block our path. Stop trying to be good. Stop trying to follow the rules. Stop doing what your guru tells you to do. And listen to your body and listen to your heart and have the courage to go deep within and look. This approach restores free will. There is no one who could bring us revelation or serve as intermediator between the divine realms and our thirst for plenitude. If there were, these would not be present within us. Everything tremors, vibrates interiorly, and we possess the whole of the means to gain access to this world. We are the divine. Please hear this. We are the temple. We are the worshipper. We are everything. Total and immaculate consciousness has always been within us. Nothing and no one can give it to us or alter its scintillating, love that word, quality. That's why, says Daniel Odier, it's no longer a question of cutting off the senses, desires and passions. On the contrary, it's a question of mounting these high-spirited, steed-like messengers in full consciousness so that they may carry us rapidly to a continuous presence to the world. Wow, I love that. The language, you know, it just... The way that he speaks in this, I feel it within my body. I feel the truth of it, and it excites me. It vibrates inside me. It really gets the tremoring going, you know, the tremoring of awakeness, the tremoring of truth, the tremoring of aliveness. So seeing our desires and our passions as high-spirited, steed-like messengers and mounting them with full consciousness, that's what this journey is about. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful that we don't have to deny any part of ourselves, and that we have everything that we seek within, and that we are, I love that line, we are, my eyes, we are total and immaculate, we are the divine, we are the temple, and we are the worshipper. How about affirming that every morning? I am the divine, I am the temple, I am the worshipper. Satnam. Yay, that's my message for today. Thank you so much for watching. I can see that you've been watching, David, and some other people too. Thank you for watching and joining me, and please feel free to make some comments, add some questions, tell me about your experience of this. Love to hear, And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with a little bit more. And if you love this, please share it. And if you want to know about my work and my workshops and my online courses, go to my website, www.shaktisundari.com. Thank you so much. Much love to you, and Satnam. Bye bye. Bye bye for now. Satnam.